Hello, hello! Perfidious Pete here, ready to dive into some corpulent corpses and hair-chasing hounds, down in the dastardly deeps and grime-covered graveyards of Perfidious Manor in Darkest Dungeon. And things around the old manor have changed quite a bit recently, thanks to whatever corrupting spell, or update/patch, that caused the corpses of our fallen foes to linger upon the earth after their death. And let me tell you, the piles of rotting carcasses slowly bloating in the sun here certainly have made things far, far more difficult for our seekers. Fortunately, there is a new kid in town to help clean up the mess, and the Houndmaster and his sidekick are both adorable and deadly. And let me tell you, adorable and deadly, it's an adorably deadly combination. It really is. Just ask Hello Kitty, because she will eat your fucking soul. But I digress. There have also been a few construction changes here at the manor, of course, most notably in the sanitarium. As you can see, we now have a medical ward on staff for the treatment of the many, many, many diseases that have been flooding in a untenable tide of illness through the hamlet in the wake of the corpse apocalypse. But I mean, that's going to happen when you leave a bunch of bodies lying around bloating in the sun. Disease is going to follow, and it certainly has followed right into the old manor. Now, on the plus side, we do have an abundant stockpile here of cress and bus, so we're going to go ahead and fully develop the old medical ward here, just to get, well, we can't quite fully develop it, can we? Anyway, we've got a couple patient cells, diseases, of course, new also, thanks to the rotting corpses bloating out in the sun, but you know what? I really think that's enough yammering front-loaded about what's different. Let's just get down to the dungeon here, find some action, and experience the changes in the wake of the Corpse of the Hound spell firsthand. Plus, also, we got the added benefit, completing a mission will give us an opportunity, our first opportunity at least, to try and wrangle ourselves a Houndmaster who can, in turn, then also wrangle us a Hound. So, let's do it. Let's take a look and see what missions are on offer. Now, it is important to note, the Perfidious estate, pretty damn well developed already. And just a couple things, I did stream this game, actually, as of this, the time I'm recording, I actually did some streaming on this yesterday, which was the day that the patch released. And it's the game, it's a lot different now. It's a lot different, especially when you're starting out. The game seems to be considerably more difficult from a front-loaded aspect when you don't have all of the troopers that you need with the right abilities. For us, however, since we have a ton of available cash, and frankly, pretty much an entirely completed manor, a lot of these changes are going to be interesting, but not really supremely difficult. But overcoming the corpse difficulty in the early game is quite a bit of a problem, and I gotta say, I, for one, am glad that I'm gonna sort of be able to skip all that with a low-level party. Little salty on the stream because we found quite a bit of difficulty with the new party starting out. It seems to be the paradigm for Darkest Dungeon. Every time they start a new patch or a new update, they try to make the end game more difficult, and in doing that, they always seem to wind up making the late game just unspeakably difficult. Also, this is something that's not allowed anymore. You're not supposed to be able to wear two of the same trinket. And I want to test this. This wasn't a patch notes, it's something that is no longer allowed, so yeah, okay. So if your guys still have it, it looks like it's still a possibility if they're already wearing two of the same trinket, but just in the interest of fairness, I am going to go ahead, and if anybody is wearing two of the same things, I'm going to go ahead and take those off. I don't think anyone actually is anymore wearing two of the same trinket. I don't believe they are, but it doesn't hurt. Yeah, it looks like we're in the clear. Alright, no one else appears to be wearing two of the same thing. Good, so we are in the clear. Excellent. It was just good old Roderick Usher, who, actually, that's a bit of a problem. What kind of trinket would we put in replace of this for Roderick? Let's sort by rarity. Just check real quick and see what else we have. The Wrathful Bandana for our Arbalest, actually getting a custom graphic there. That's not that fantastic. I mean, it's not terrible for the... What is our Berserker? What is our Berserker wearing? Our Leper, rather. Ron Weasley, what do you got on, pal? You know what? I kind of like this combination better, actually, because the bonus accuracy is really quite huge for the Leper. It makes a massive difference. I'm not inclined to change that. A Hero's Ring, a Cleansing Crystal, the Gunslinger's Buckle. Why is that not on Half-Cock Jack? Oh, because it actually is on Half-Cock Jack. Okay. Well then, why is that not on Fagin? Because it should then also be on Fagin. Yeah, I'm digging that. That's a good combination. Alright, so Fagin is sorted then. And if we resort that, I don't know what we should put on old Roderick Usher. What do we have that's Crusader only? Let's take a look at that. Maybe that will be the... We have a badge. You know what? 15% damage, plus 20, max hit points. He loses some dodge. You know, yeah, I think we go for the Swordsman's Crest. I actually really like this trinket. I think it's really good. So that'll do for now, or until we stumble across something that's going to suit Sir Roderick better. In the interest of my own self-preservation, I don't want to leap straight into a very, very high-level dungeon. I think I'm going to do a warm-up with a veteran mission. Also, some of our veteran troopers are actually the ones that need levels more anyway. Ooh, we got to do this. One thing I did learn, they made a lot of class changes, a lot of balancing changes. One of the things they did that's, I think, is phenomenal is they made some changes here to, the Jester. And as you can see, the Jester has a whole plethora of new skills now. You can have a Jester whose entire job is just to sing. He has actually some offensive songs here. They've changed Finale and Solo, the way they work. They're both quite good now, and a 4th rank Battle Bard singing Jester is really good, and Inspiring Tune is quite good now. It's just a single target stress heal that heals a ton of stress. So I think we're going to take old Simkin on this mission just to try him out. So let's see what missions we have available, and let's get Simkin in a dungeon. Alright, so a veteran short, complete 100% of room battles. I still don't like short missions. Medium missions are still sort of the way to go. Recover 3 grain sacks. Those missions suck so bad. They suck. The Youth Chalice is at least reasonable. We kind of are going to need some crest. Activate 3 infected corpses. Detoxifying the corpses is actually at least at the end, and we can slowly wheedle away some of the things that are in our inventory. So let's go for this. Swordsman's Crest not really going to be useful. You know, that's actually a reason to not do it. Medium Veteran for Explore 90% of rooms. Camouflage Cloak is actually pretty good. Let's do this one instead. I like this better. Alright, so let's put a party together. I think that party is going to consist of Murphy. One other thing I did learn during the stream, Hellions, they are the new fucking shit, man. You want a Hellion in your party. They are awesome. Hellions and their ability to hit every single potential position, fan-freaking-tastic. They're real good now. Real good. Do we have a rank 3? We do not. Alright, so let's just grab Florence Nightingale. This party should be adequate. We got 2 real high damage dealers, 1 healer, and somebody to manage our stress. That's going to be okay. So let's check and make sure everybody's fully kitted out. Karen's looking solid, deadly. Django honestly could use some trinkets. So let's see what we got for Django that might be useful. This is going to lower his dodge, but his dodge is already pretty bad. Extra protection and extra hit points I think actually will be useful for Django. Plus 2% crit, plus 10% accuracy to range skills, and a penalty to dodge. Theoretically, there's a reason to take this since we've already penalized his dodge. It can't go below 0. Alternatively, we could give him a camouflage cloak and try and counter the dodge penalty. Couple ways to go with that one. What are you? Not useful in any way, shape, or form. Looks like that's about the best we're going to do. You know, well, we could completely counter the dodge penalty with a slight hit point. Then we come out with plus 15% protection at 10% extra HP and no penalty on the dodge, and then we don't have to care about our light level. You know what? I like that better. I like that better. Just this way we get all bonuses, we've completely countered the penalty, and our light levels do not matter. I very much like that. I think that's it's solid enough until we can get some oranges to sort of kit him out better. That's probably good. What do you got, Jester? Don't we have some Jester-only trinkets, I think. I know we have some Jester's dice somewhere. Alright, so what else have we got for the Jester? Bloody dice, critical dice. Are all the Jester's trinkets dice? They appear to all be dice. Interesting. Plus 4 accuracy, plus 4 dodge, minus 5% damage. I'm thinking about taking that. Plus 2% crit, plus 1% speed. Let's go with the critical dice and the lucky dice. The reason for that being actually our Jester is going to be fully kitted out with song skills, none of which have rolls to hit and don't really matter in the critical department. So let's get rid of all of these. We're going to take Finale, we're going to take Solo, we're going to take Battle Ballad, and Inspiring Tune. As you'll note, Battle Ballad got buffed in 2 ways. One, they just flat out made it better. The other thing that they did to Battle Ballad that's fucking amazing, buffs last 1 turn longer, so this stacks an additional turn. All buffs in the game actually last 1 additional turn, 1 turn longer than they used to. And the Jester's camping skills they're amazing. I mean, all companions reduce stress by 15. That is so good. One companion with a bonus accuracy, bonus stress resist. Mockery is really good, and turn. Yeah, we're gonna go with all stress reduction skills. That is something I noticed in my playthrough on the stream as well. Stress is considerably more of a problem now. They have reduced the amount of stress heal you get from criticals, and they've also somewhat reduced the number of criticals that a party is capable of generating. So you don't get as much passive stress reduction as you used to. We're definitely going to take Bless. I'm not a huge fan of Pray. I don't really like Sanctuary either, though. So I guess we'll just chant and pray. I want to make sure everybody's camping skills are sorted. Camping is kind of a big deal now. Courage is good. This is how we do it is good. Tracking, I'm less a fan of. Plan takedown is reasonable. Scout ahead. Let's do, yeah. Actually, you know what? Let's do, I'm not a big fan of plan takedown. I mean, it is good. Yeah. No, it takes so much time. It takes too long. It just takes too long. And you're good. All right, reject a god, sharpen spear, beautiful. Karen Murphy, of course, ready to go in and do battle. So let's get stuck in. Get our provisions. Something else I noticed they've adjusted. Darkness, again, they've made it even more dangerous than it previously was, and it was already reasonably dangerous. So again, we're going to be doing some light runs until I really sort of feel that I have my arms around the new update pretty damn firmly. I don't want to risk losing any of our beloved Seekers at this point. I think the tragic loss of Doctor Strange is enough loss for us to have suffered recently, so we're going to be staying in the light very recently. They increase the amount of stress you take in the dark. Monsters get a bigger chance to critical as they level, and then they also get the bonus critical in darkness. So if you're fighting in the darkness, monsters are going to critical the shit out of you. And I see it reset all of our traits, so we can look forward to these pop-ups. I really wish there was a way to disable that. I sincerely do. I wish that was something you could just turn off as an option, like just turn off the tips and hints. Would be good. Anyway, this dungeon layout is fucking terrible. We have to explore 90% of rooms, which means we can skip 2. Wow. This layout is supremely awful. All right, so we're going to be doing some backtracking. I'm glad I brought a lot of torches and a lot of food. This is not fantastic for us. All right, let's get to work. Only way out is through. This dungeon layout really is one of the shittier ones I've seen. And that seems to be kind of general to the new patch as well. It seems like maybe they've made the dungeon layouts less player-friendly. Seem to spend a lot more time backtracking, and you seem to see a lot more convoluted layouts. Alright, so we got Simpkin is getting puked on. Aha, with the dodge, take that. Now, oh, we gotta switch Murphy's skills. Oh, no, she can still, okay. One of the reasons why I really like the Hellion in the new patch, they have the ability to hit every single party location, and you're gonna see why that's important right now. This guy left a corpse. So when a monster leaves a corpse, the way it works now, monsters that leave corpses, they maintain their position. They don't just get bumped to the front, so you can't have a bunch of people that can only hit the front rank unless you have some way to destroy corpses. Now, you can destroy corpses, of course, by just hitting them and doing damage. As you see, this has 13 hit points. So you can't just do 13 damage to it, and it will go away. Alternatively, there are some skills you can get that also eliminate corpses, like Flashbang. Flashbang is one of the ones that just clears all corpses. Man, our Jester is dodging like a champ. As you can see, the corpse, it's basically just an object. I mean, it's there. It's going to take up space. We should kill this guy before he peeps on someone. Stress, we got to very, very carefully manage our stress. That's really one of our overarching goals. All right, so we can still hit you. Yes. All right, so we'll get to bleed on that. Another thing they've done, bleeds and blights are more important than ever. As you can see, we got the pop-up about monsters with high protection. Monsters that have a very high protection stat, protection does not reduce the damage caused by bleeds or blights. So they have tried to increase the utility of the Plague Doctor and the Grave Robber. They made a few other adjustments to both of those classes as well. I'm going to go ahead and Flashbang here. Okay, so Flashbang is supposed to... Okay, I guess it doesn't clear corpses. It's a Plague Doctor ability, perhaps, is the one that clears all corpses. I am not a fan of that at all. On the plus side, it did move him to the front, where we'll have an easier time hitting him. He's now bleeding even more. Little collect bounty. Would like to get a heal here from an A. Thank you. We need a group heal. Excellent. Don't really have enough stress to have to bother. Solo is pretty good. It moves you to the front of the party and gives the entire enemy team minus 10 accuracy and gives the Jester plus 8 speed. It does no damage, however. Honestly, I think we're better off to just battle ballad again. Let's keep our own speed and crit as high as possible. And look at this, 12 speed plus 24 accuracy plus 9% crit. We still lost the speed roll, I'd like to point out, which is sort of bullshit, but it is what it is. 16 damage from Karen Murphy. That's fatal damage for this jackhole. Let's get rid of some stress then. We know the Swinotar is not going to go again. You know, just finish him. And there we go. Alright, so first fight, it's a win. And we did take out a Swinotar. Took a little more damage than I'm fully comfortable with. But you know what? We got a couple pieces of free food. Let's go ahead and eat that. We're going to also get some free food here because we're going to throw some medicinal herbs on this makeshift dining table. Because there's nothing like eating leftovers off of a fucking disgusting table of bestial pigmen that you found in the stinky sewers beneath a rotting ruin of a manor. That's definitely a meal you just want to pick up and tucker into. Something else they did, trinkets and fates and traits. It is widely known that you can now lock in positive traits. If there's something that you really have a unit that you'd like them to keep, you can lock it in. It is ridiculously expensive, however. It is like 5,000 gold. Alternatively, the longer you keep a negative quirk, the more likely it is to also become locked in. And removing them, again, ridiculously expensive. The base price on that is right around in the neighborhood of 5,000 gold. So they really have added in some gold sinks for the higher level parties, so you're not just rolling around sitting on giant Scrooge McDuck piles of fortune gold. You actually have something to spend that gold on now. If you get a character who has faded, you can lock it in so there's no chance that it gets overwritten by another quirk. Also, stress relief. With the stress mechanic changes, you're going to spend a lot more time paying for stress relief. You're also going to spend a lot more time with people in the medical ward getting rid of diseases, because one of the things they seem to have changed is at the end of the mission, it's basically not a good chance to get a positive quirk and a small chance to get a negative quirk. The new paradigm seems to be you get, out of the 4 troopers, possibly one of them gets a positive quirk. The other ones get either a negative quirk or a disease, or a negative quirk and a disease. They've really kind of made it punishing to finish a mission. Like, you complete a mission and do your quest goal, and it sort of feels like the new patch punishes you for finishing a mission. It's one of the mechanics that I have to admit I don't really like. As I was playing this on the stream on Wednesday night, it was one of the things that I found kind of distasteful. I didn't really like it at all, because especially in the early game when it's so hard to complete missions, to complete a mission and then have your entire team get negative quirks and diseases that they need to pay money to have treated really is sort of a kick in a dick for a new player. In a later game where you're making more money per mission and you have a bigger roster so you can afford more downtime for your team, it seems like it's going to be less of an issue. But again, it's supposed to be a late game gold sink, and rather than it turning out to be a late game gold sink, what it turns out to be is an early game kick in the dick and or twat for new players. Every time they try to make the late game difficult, it seems like they make the late game very marginally difficult, and the early game just becomes fucking punishing. It really, the early game with a new start, kind of feels kind of grindy. I do like the Corpse and Hound update. I think it added a lot of fantastic mechanics. I really like the corpse mechanic with being able to hit positions. That's one of the things I think they got right. The just hit the guys in the front meta doesn't really work anymore, and I have to say, I kind of like that. I mean, it was getting a little Corey Haim, Corey Feldman. I mean, yeah, they were cute when they were 12, but they're all grown up and kind of hateful now. And you don't really need to see that anymore. It's really kind of a fad whose time, let's face it, has come and gone. Sorry, Feldman, or Haim, or whichever one is alive. I think Feldman is alive. Corey Haim, I'm pretty sure, is dead. Would you please stop looking in these, Simpkin? What do you have that's causing you to do this? Okay, Simpkin's gonna get a disease. Oh, no, he's resisted both of his diseases. It's Dark Temptation? Must be Dark Temptation. Alright, well, that shit has got to go. Alright, so who's our trap guy? 70% for Simpkin. Brienne is at 60, so that means Simpkin is going to disarm this trap. Alright, we got to roll. Fantastic. A little 2 stress relief for Simpkin. That's nice. Let's move on. I'm going to burn a couple torches here. We had to do so much backtracking. We're a little low on torches, and I got to say, not really a fan of that. I don't want to be wandering around in the dark. The dark is supremely dangerous now. And so we're just going to go for some damage on Johnny Stress Causer back here in the back. Most of the way home. That's acceptable. Brienne taking a hook in the twat. That's unfortunate. And, well, Brienne does have love interest, and I'm thinking her love interests for this evening are going to be somewhat reduced there at the brothel, because it's going to be an uncomfortable evening for Brienne after taking that nasty slash in the gash. Not to be crude, but, you know, I'm a crude bastard. Also, I want this stress-causing piece of shit dead. I hate to have to hit him twice, but I'm gonna hit him twice. Let's try and Ah, got the critical from Django, but we were 1 health shy of getting a kill. That's alright though. Butcher's cut at Simpkin. Whacking him in the face with the old ball and chain. Got the stun. Not really that big of a deal. Simpkin is mostly here to grind away our stress. That's largely his job. Brienne of Tarth is putting on a magnificent beatdown display. Let's go for the group heal. Everybody's a little pinched. Get everybody back on task and focused. A little Butcher's Cut for Florence Nightingale. Adroitly dodged from Flojo. Man, you guys just won't stop with Brienne. Man, I mean, Murphy, I guess it is. This is Karen Murphy. Never mind. Keep calling her Brienne for whatever reason. Or is it Brienne? Now I don't even remember who it is. It's Murphy. Alright, sorry, Dresden, but Murph's got a headache this evening because the enemy just keeps brutalizing her snatch. I mean, it's unfortunate for really everybody involved, but they just won't lay off, man. They won't lay off. Lay off the snatch, man. Lay off the snatch. I actually did not... Okay, so we got a critical mark there. That was fantastic. That actually should have been a critical collect bounty, and this guy should have been dead. But instead, we fucked it up. Everybody got some stress, and Simpkin got smashed in the face by a ball and chain. Delightful. So, gonna get a heal on Simpkin, because he was a little banged up by the critical ball and chain. Could you use the right skill this time? So, of course, it doesn't critical. One thing to note, they actually did lower the overall damage of criticals as well. Criticals actually do less damage. Not only do they occur less frequently, but they do less damage when they do occur now. The modifier on criticals has been reduced. It used to be from... It's to 1.5 times now, I think, instead of 2. Do I seem overconfident, Mr. Narrator? I mean, honestly, do I sincerely seem like I am overconfident at the moment? My confidence seems low. No. Although... we're in pretty good shape. We have not had an opportunity to fight the Shambler in the new patch. We're in pretty good shape. We've got a pretty big stackable buff on us right now. You know what? Yeah, let's do it. We haven't done it yet. Let's do it. We're gonna fight the Shambler. Come get some, shambling bastard. Let's do this. How did we get surprised? This, okay, I'd just like to say, developers, this should not be a thing that is possible. The Shambler should not be able to surprise you, because you know that the Shambler is coming, because you are the one that put the torch on a thing. Now, if you just encounter the Shambler, like by random, okay, that's fine. That one actually should almost always be a surprise. That I can see. The Shambler surprising you when you activate a thing, however, no, that should simply not be something that's allowed to happen. Holy fucking shit, that was a ton of stress. An absolute ton of stress. Alright, so we're gonna battle ballad again. Go for the collect bounty. Alright, 18 damage. It's some. Man, we really got a lot of stress. And stop shuffling my fucking party around, you jerk. Alright, we can work with this. Ululating withdrawal, this is gonna make... Alright, these things actually don't have as much ridiculous amounts of protection as they used to. No, don't. Turn that off. Turn that... Alright, interface. Stop fucking fighting me on this one. We're fighting the Shambler here. We can't afford your goddamn dickery. We need shit to actually work here. Why can't I flashbang? Oh, because I'm in the front rank. I don't really want to forgo my position. Let's just mark you. We do want to try and keep popping the Shambler if we can. Alright, a good dodge from Simpkin. Nicely done, buddy. You got a buff. Plus 50% damage, plus 25% protection. Alright, so we're going to solo here. I want to give these guys the accuracy debuff. So we are going to solo. That's going to reorder our party a little bit in kind of an sort of an unpleasant way, but that's okay, because we can still have Karen Murphy boost some damage here, and Simpkin, as soon as he gets a chance to go again, is going to head straight back to the back rank again. He's going to be right back where he came from. The stress on every single hit is... We probably should not have fought the Shambler. This is not looking very good, actually. Simpkin is completely ruined. Alright, so we gotta go for the finale. That puts Simpkin back in the back rank, also gives him a debuff, and did nothing to the Shambler. Alright, I'm a little upset by this. Gotta get some heals on old... Actually, when Simpkin's turn comes around, we gotta get rid of this Blight. He's got 9 Blight damage on him. That's quite a bit. Keep wailing away at the Shambler. Good critical from Murphy. Nicely done. Getting a little bit of stress back, but we've got a pretty significant stress problem. We're also taking a lot of damage. How much bleed have you got? 3. The criticals. This guy is criticaling the shit out of us. It's because of the darkness. As you can see, they actually upped monster critical again. Simkin is on death's door. Simkin is on death's door. They really upped the stress from going on to death. So Simkin is dead.
This is no place for the weak.
Alright, we should not have fought the Shambler. We need to retreat from combat. This is good. Okay, yeah, this is not good. The Shambler is largely unbeatable. Wow. We may actually lose Jango Fett as well. We're definitely going to lose Jango Fett. Holy crap! Alright, so everybody is going to trigger a stress attack on everybody. We've got to get out of this dungeon immediately. We have to leave. This is unwinnable. We cannot stay and fight this out. Please let me leave. I would like to retreat from combat. Stop hitting the Shambler. We need to retreat from combat. We're completely ruined. Jango is going to die.
The sin is not in being outmatched.
Yeah, well, there you go, folks. There's what the new stress mechanics look like. Fighting in the dark is tantamount to suicide, and fighting the Shambler is basically an unwinnable fight. So we're done with this dungeon, and it's back to the Hamlet. So we lost a ton of money, and Simkin, I'd like to point out, our Jester, getting killed along the way. That's a tragedy. We had spent a lot of upgrades on, and now we're going to get doubly punished right here. Yeah, as you can see, 2 negative quirks and 1 positive quirk, which actually is not really a positive quirk at all. I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. Fighting the Shambler was dumb. We probably shouldn't have done that. That was hubris, but it does give you a good idea of how much more difficult things are in the new patch. It's, I don't want to say punishing, but you know what? It's in full dark runs are fucking just punishing now. It's really not something you can consider unless you have a very, very perfectly composed team with exactly the right trinkets and ready to do some work. They kind of need to be geared for darkness if you're going to be fighting in a darkness. And we have 2 open roster slots, which is pretty tragic. So as you can see, scattering is locked in. Karen Murphy has had scattering so long it's become locked in. We don't really care about that, per se. Scattering is not really a big deal. I don't really care about any of these others if they get locked in. Ideally, your goal with negative quirks is to get ones that you don't mind and keep them for as long as possible so that those are the ones that actually get locked in. Like if she loses damage to range skills, it doesn't matter. We don't use any range skills. That's one we want to keep locked in. Known cheat, we don't mind having that locked in. Claustrophobia is a little bad. Resolution, we don't mind having that locked in. Your goal is to try and get quirks that have minimal negative impact as locked in on your characters, but we do need to get a little bit of stress relief. So let's take the Murph, and we're gonna have her. She will only go to the Why will Murphy only go to the brothel? She won't drink. Oh, she won't drink or gamble. So if we take her to the tavern, she'll only. Yeah, you know what? The brothel is fine actually. Django will only drink, so let's have him go do that. Knock 1 back, should be fine. We have a lot of crests. Can we finish our upgrade here? We can. Let's do that.
Alone in the woods,
and that should be everything fully upgraded, should it not? Tavern.
Prepare.
Except for the sanitarium, which just got new additions. Everything else should be fully upgraded. All right, that's good. Guild, fully upgraded. Excellent. Armorsmith. Just want to double check these since the patch. I know our Nomad Wagon... Actually, our Nomad Wagon is fully upgraded. Never mind. I don't want any of those trinkets, though. But more importantly, we have 2 open roster slots now. Let's go. We did not get a Houndmaster. We likewise did not get a Jester. Alright, no Houndmaster, no Jester, so it looks like another week we wait then. We are going to want a replacement Jester as quickly as we can, and of course we want a Houndmaster just so we can try them out. Did try out the Houndmaster in stream. I was quite pleased with them. They're actually pretty good. Have some very interesting abilities, some self-healing, some debuffs, a lot of bleeds. They're a very tricky class. I'm really kind of sad we didn't get to show what Simkin can do with the new song meta that they have for the Jesters. Florence Nightingale actually also needs stress relief, so let's get that taken care of while we're at it. She will not meditate. That's fine. Let's take her to the Abbey. And Flowtown, let's just have you go pray. That's fine. 900 gold. And that's got it sorted. So that's it for Darkest Dungeon. But I think we should probably say goodbye to old Simkin, Master Jester, killed by a Shambler Spore. That was quite unfortunate. But the Shambler, nothing to trifle with. Nothing to trifle with. He is vastly more dangerous than he used to be, as are all high-level dungeons. And bear in mind, that wasn't even a highest-level Shambler either. I mean, that was a veteran-level Shambler. The legendary Shambler must be a thing of terror indeed. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. Of course, if you enjoyed the episode, feel free to drop a like down in the comments section. Your support really does mean a lot to us. And if you'd like to see more Darkest Dungeon, consider subscribing as well. But right now, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.